Welcome to this tutorial for a mini Christmas tree decoration, which is going to be perfect for a table display or a gift at Christmas. We're going to make it out of clusters of 6, tape it up into a Christmas tree shape, and then finish it off with some small little clusters of reflex red. The thing that makes this one slightly different is within the clusters we've got link-o-loons. So I'm going to be using 3 fashion lime green link-o-loons. We've got metallic green, reflex lime green and metallic lime green. So it gives a nice little difference in tone throughout the design. Also like the mix of the metallics with the fashion as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to start inflating the bottom layer at roughly 5 inches. I've got my pre-timed machine set, so I know how I'm going to be doing it. So long as you start your bottom row at about 5 inches, you can then move up through the design, dropping about ½ an inch per layer. So all we're going to simply do is make a duplicate with a standard balloon and a link-o-loon. It's worth noticing as well that I have actually pre-inflated the standard balloons. You can see the slight difference in the size, just so they can inflate at the same sort of rate as the fashion, because the metallic finish gives a tighter feel to the balloon, so they need a bit more give to inflate at the same size. So that's my first layer done. I'm just going to twist the 3 duplicates into a cluster of 6 and then separate the link-o-loons and alternate them with the regular balloons, so we get this sort of shape. They're not going to sit still, doesn't matter for now. We can build the next row, and then as we build up, everything will sit into place. In preparation for the next row, I'm just going to make a ribbon out of a 260 clear, squeeze the air out, tie that in a knot, and then that's ready to add into the design shortly. So now what I'm going to do is drop my sizer down by 0.1. This particular machine, that's how it runs. If you're inflating with a hand pump or others, you just want to drop by about ½ an inch. So again, as we've done before, take your link-o-loon and your round balloon and inflate the same size. So now we've got our new smaller clusters. I'm just going to twist them in together. And then we can take our 260. Again, just so flatten them out on the desk. Take your 260. Wrap it around a couple of times and tie in a knot. And now with our smaller cluster, we're going to try and follow the pattern from the first one. So we've got a reflex. Swap those 2. So as you can see, the pattern is going to create a spiral going around, and then we're going to take our 260, pull it up through the smaller piece, get a nice amount of tension on it, and then just do a figure of 8 around that. That's now firmly in place. So again, I'm going to drop my sizer down by 0.1 or inflate at 0.5 of an inch or ½ an inch. And as before, twist them into a cluster. So we need to follow the same pattern so that the spiral moves throughout. So link-o-loon, a reflex, link-o-loon, then we've got a lime green, link-o-loon, and then the metallic green. Again, pull the 260 out as far as it will. Nice amount of tension, just a figure of 8 around. And again, everything's now holding in place. Drop down in size. Now that we're getting to a smaller balloon, I'm actually going to inflate the balloon more in the top part, so the nozzle is actually more within the bulb of the balloon. So repeating the same pattern, so we are reflex, link-o-loon, and lime green, link-o-loon, regular green, link-o-loon. And then onto the final top layer, again dropping down a size. This time we do really want to inflate right at the top of the balloon because it's a much smaller size. It's only actually coming out to about 3 inches or so. Reflex and green. That's finished now, so I'm just going to create a loop, tie that in a knot to secure it, and trim the excess. Whee! Not to worry. What are we at? So metallic lime green, bottom row. Let's find where it lives. So I'm just going to, happens all the time, it's not a problem. It's just wrapped in and I'll just tie it off. I think we've had some glitter left on the table from the previous demo. Okay, so now we can finish the design. So we've got the little nozzles of the link-o-loons moving around in a nice spiral. And all I've done is made these little duplets out of single balloon. I'll show you how to make those. So you can do it either with a hand pump, just a single stroke, drop a little bit of air out, tie your knot, get the knot close to the end, and then we're going to pinch the knot with your thumb and the top, bring them together and twist. When you get to this point, you might have one bigger than the other, so before you twist the whole lot, you can actually squeeze between the two to pass the air from one to the other if they're not the same size. And that one's good. If you're making these in advance as well, wrap the nozzle round and tighten a knot, and you can trim that, and that'll hold that shape now until you're ready to use it. Alternatively, again, if you're using a sizing machine, let a little bit out, tie the knot, pinch and twist. But now I'm just going to go straight onto the design, so I'm not going to tie that in a knot. I'm just going to use the nozzle from the link-o-loon to wrap around a couple of times, tie it off with that nozzle, trim the excess. So the ones that I've pre-made, obviously I've trimmed the nozzles off those to keep them clean, so you can take the nozzle from the link-o-loon, go around a couple of times, and I'm just going to wrap around these two fingers around the back of the balloon, in between, and just pull it through, and there's a nice secure knot there. And for this design, I like to have them actually oriented the way they're pointing. I'm just going to go ahead and complete the rest of them. Okay, so now we've got all the extra little pieces on, we can just arrange them. Like I say, I like them all following the line of the curve. And then in place. Okay, and to finish, we've got these lovely little poinsettia mini shapes. All I've done is inflate with air, seal it with a heat sealer, and then tie a scrap piece of 260, and then tie a knot at the end to make a loop. I'm just going to bring the loop down and around, just to lock it in place. And then to finish it, it would be great as it is like that. You could just pop a little water weight or sand weight or a heavier weight wrapped in a balloon, and that would sit nicely on a table. But in this instance, I've just got this funky little pot that we found lying around. Popped a couple of little holes in the bottom with a 260, wrapped in, and then again, as we did with the topper, tied in a knot to make a loop. And I'm just going to take this up through the design and back down the bottom. So let's go through here. and that'll now sit nicely in the pot.